Hello everyone, Chris back again with you in Gaming Zone. Today I'm returning with yet another separate entry in the mod review series, covering the Total Conversion mod under the name of Battlefield Apocalypse. Not to be confused with the subpar Battlefield 1 DLC, which ironically used this name years later. To refresh everyone's memories, this series is dedicated to modifications that sadly can't have a normal gameplay recorded, either due to extremely boring gameplay or online exclusive components. The latter is applied to Apocalypse mod, as this project was created with the sole intention for it to be played in an online environment, and single player side not being worked upon. Hence why you everyone see the review side for this mod, just like Sandbox I covered previously. Apocalypse is yet again a heavy dose of nostalgia for yours truly. Truth to be told everyone, I could only play this modification at an internet cafe with my friends, because the PC I had at home was too weak to run it without issues. Because this project requires higher than low settings for it to work, I was out of luck for years straight, before purchasing a better PC and unlocking the potential to play everything custom made for Battlefield 2. But again, I was too late to the party, as people lost interest in Apocalypse over time, and finding out that it was exclusive to multiplayer left me disappointed. For the background footage of this video, I'll have some slideshows and stills of the atmosphere for this mod. At least the vibes are still here, which I am glad to re-experience today. With all of the preface stated, let's jump into the review itself and issue a final mark to this legendary project. Following the intense train wreck that Firebird was, featuring something like this in the review side of things is truly refreshing. Took long enough for me to finally reach Apocalypse, and it's quite ironic that this topic is trending in the current times. Let's hope that we will never have to experience the things the folks from this mod story had to go through. Well, anyways, let's look at Apocalypse content and the issue the market deserves. Good parts. Locations. Apocalypse mod was one of the first ever modifications that I played to feature custom-made locations only. That's right everyone. This project has its own exclusive, specially crafted for the setting maps. For the times it was released, this was something unique for sure. You have Destroyed New York filled with water, you have a labyrinth called the Death Trap, and you can even play in a damn crater out of all things. Sadly, the quality for these is not on par with modern counterparts, and you can feel that with the design and gameplay. While the buildings are atmospheric and give you the end of the world vibe, they are no bigger than an average soldier, especially when you are inside of them. If you fall in water in the flooded New York map, don't even bother swimming around to find an exit, it's faster to just redeploy. Sea of the Cyclopean is just straight up a desert with 3 houses scattered randomly. That's basically the classic lazy design of maps. I praise the custom created content, but there are some serious questions when the design and quality is brought up on the table. Armament. Weapons and gadgets of Apocalypse are unique and fun, that is for sure. And again, all of those are custom made for the setting of this project. Pretty much nothing is shared with vanilla Battlefield 2. That's something cool to see. You either use salvage weapons before the nuclear stuff happened, or pick things like saw-firing assault rifle made from scraps found on the land. My favorite has to be, and I kid you not, piss gun. Yep, that's right. You can take down enemies by pissing on them. This is where the peak of modding has reached everyone. Nothing can beat this achievement. On a real note though, the weapons featured in Apocalypse are quite cool, but these age like fine milk on a sunny day, especially the animations. Vehicles. And the final part that features entirely custom content created for this project. Of course, I'm talking about the vehicles. Starting with a van that contains coffins with skeletons, and ending up with planes that drop small-scale atomic bombs. You can even drive a huge bus in a specific map that serves as a gate to protect from enemies. Although again, with their own specific problems, vehicles are fun to use, and quite entertaining to play around with. Interface. Although the UI featured in Apocalypse aged extremely poorly going in 2022, I have to praise the developers for customizing it properly for the setting. You can see rust, radiation icons, and even nuclear-themed pictures in the backgrounds. This is applied to the main menu as well, featuring distinct imagery and music. Some new modifications out there should take notes from projects such as Apocalypse, and not just share UIs like it's a sacrilegious thing to do. Factions. For a wrap up, the factions which are introduced in this modification. Unlike new projects that feature custom models and skins for soldiers, in Apocalypse you find the good old USMC and mech operatives that everyone knows. But they have been changed to fit the setting again, featuring either disfigured mutant-like creatures or survivors in the brand new world the atomic war has created. That's pretty cool if you ask me. With the positive points covered, let's have a look at bad parts. Polish. This is the biggest detriment of Apocalypse, everyone, and that is considering the timing when the project had a release for the public. Nearly every aspect of this mod has issue with polish, starting with locations like Derailed, where you can basically see clipping, black textures, graphical bugs, and so on. And ending up of course with UI weirdness. Some gun animations were lazily made, for others the sounds are completely wrong, and that's not even discussing the gunplay. Location polish is probably the worst I've seen in quite some time, ranging from graphical bugs and ending up with lazy level design. While UI fits its setting, yes, it's sometimes hard to read. Neutral points for some reason are no longer white, featuring some weird icons that are shared with a team. As this project is not being developed anymore, these drawbacks might make some players lose interest. I can't forgive problems for the sake of nostalgia, and I have to point out how things have changed throughout the years. Stability. Problems don't stop on the polished side of things, however. Stability of Apocalypse can also raise some questions. Even on my powerful computer, this mod managed to hiccup my frame rate on certain locations. Random crashes can also happen, since as stated again, this is a total conversion that contains fully custom content. No single player. I'm not going to take out a point of the final mark because of this particular entry, but it's a shame that Battlefield Apocalypse doesn't feature single player support. Not even a single location has AI support on it, and that is the biggest deal breaker in the modern era. Unless you are willing to host a LAN party, or just waste time looking at visuals like yours truly, I can't recommend you to download Battlefield Apocalypse. Final mark, 7 out of 10. Without a doubt, Battlefield Apocalypse made history for itself thanks to its bold concepts, ideas, and original content. It's hard to find people that don't know about this total conversion mod and the nostalgia it generates. This is also one of the first ever modifications that I've played to fully utilize custom content specially crafted by the developers, which is a huge win from my perspective. Locations are entirely custom, featuring wastelands, destroyed cities, and even nuclear power plants that are main objectives in gameplay. Armament is quite unique as well, featuring handcrafted guns and gadgets which are created in dire times considering the setting of the mod. Vehicles are spot on as well, with planes that instill fear when heard, and ending up with cars that can drop bomb packages and destroy enemies from behind. Let's not forget about factions that have changed drastically after the nuclear conflict has happened, some of which still remaining human, while others becoming ghouls or mutants because of the poisoning. Sadly, this project isn't living without its issues, some of which appeared because of badly aged assets. Because the maps included in Apocalypse are fully custom, that means there are problems bound to appear. The level design on these is quite questionable, especially New York, Sea of the Cyclopean, and Tug of War. As mentioned previously, Derailed has severe graphical glitches making the map weird to look at. Transitioning to polish criteria, weapon animations and sounds are sometimes on point, and sometimes are straight up awful to look at. Some sounds are mismatched, some animations are like pouring onion juice into your eyes. UI can be thrown in the mix as well, at the time looking fresh compared to other modifications, but quickly aging and becoming an eyesore. Stability is questionable as well, me suffering from random crashes when playing on locations, and ending up with dipping frame rates on maps that are less intense than some modern ones. Wrapping it up with no single player support, basically making Apocalypse a wasteland. It's ironic that this term is applied to the mod literally. But, if you are willing to accept the sins of this project, you are going to have a fun time roaming around the post-apocalyptic locations, just like I did remembering the experience I had back in the days. It's a shame that some modifications like this are lost to history because of online exclusivity, but it's fun to revisit it again and see how things were back in the days. This modification will remain forever one of those classics that I will never forget, no matter how many other mods I'll play and feature on my channel. That's a wrap for Apocalypse review. This was one heavy dose of nostalgia for me, just like Sandbox video I dropped not long ago. I wish new Battlefield 2 modifications had such bold ideas and fully custom content, instead of pandering towards Frostbite titles. You can definitely feel the change of route when revisiting projects from the past. Well, anyway, before you go, remember to throw a thumbs up and subscribe. Clicking that bell stuff will send you notifications when something new is uploaded on my channel. Thank you for watching, this was Chris, see you in the gaming zone.